Hello everyone, we are Art of War.
And we believe in creating a community where people can talk about, learn, and improve their skills at Warhammer 40K.
Our channel has live stream competitive matches of 40K, played by the best players in the world.
And we focus on teaching you how to get better at Warhammer, while also emphasizing sportsmanship and engagement with our audience.
We strive to play every faction in the game to a top level, while also using a variety of lists to show off different playstyles for every faction.
We also offer a variety of other videos such as codex reviews, faction rankings, tactics videos.
When you join our channel, you become part of our community, where we emphasize learning and positive conversation about competitive 40K.
You get early access to our videos, sub badges, emotes, as well as rewatch those hangout and hobby sessions.
Joining our community is a great way for you to show your support for us, so we can keep making awesome videos for you and continuously expand the bounds of competitive 40K.
Oh, we're live. Hi. Hey everyone, it's time to hang out and hobby.
It's been a while for Nick.
I hobby, I hang, I out all the time.
Well, Nick, what are you going to be working on today? Because it has a really great backstory.
I might be painting some Harlequins, Mr. Siegs.
If you have been following us for a while, you know that the last time Nick painted a Harlequin was sometime mid last year.
Yeah. That's great.
Same Harlequin army the whole time, but
The 10 Harlequins I have painted look good. I will say that. I was taking my time with this armor.
Is it more closer to 3? Like 10 seems like a lot.
No, I have 2 units of 5 that I keep using and reusing over and over and over.
This is why Nick needs transports.
So I may have lost yet another bet to Mr. John Lennon. He cheats, I swear.
He beat you fair and square in the Star Realms.
No, he beat me not fair and square in the Star Realms. But I'm a man of my word, so now I have to paint this Harlequin army by the end of the year. So we might as well get started. So it's not just going to be a mad dash in September, which it will be. But if I start now, it'll be less. That's good. We have other very exciting news, Siegs. What's that?
We've got a stream puppy.
We got a stream puppy! I'm so excited.
I was going to actually just talk about Admech, but
I will
the stream
not.
Puppy is exciting.
We'll not let you just talk about it. We have to talk about the stream puppy. There are so many Harlequins.
This is not even the whole thing. You still have 2 more boxes to build. And
They're not. No.
Yeah.
There are 45 Harlequins.
That's not enough to do your
That is my
your
list.
60 troop build.
I don't want the 60 troop build.
You do.
I don't. No.
I know you do.
You know what's never gonna get painted? My Skyweavers. The bike.
Yeah, because you have Johns.
Yeah, John's.
I feel like you're like 1 or 2 more times from breaking them for not getting access to them.
I'm not using them, so can't break what you don't use. I fix them once in a while too.
It's like your Chronos, fixing quotations.
Not like my Chronos. My Chronos are great. Let's give these guys a good old-fashioned wash.
I am working on my last unit of Cerberus Raiders.
Your last unit of Cerberus Raiders?
Last unit of Cerberus
I
Raiders.
don't believe you, Mr. Siegs.
Well,
I really
you
don't.
can only run 27
I'm not even
max.
in the frame. I'm moving this camera.
You can only run
Now
20.
you're not in the frame. Okay, better.
But you can only run 27, Nick. Cannot run anymore.
Yeah, you'll find a way.
Well,
I have full faith in you.
if Games Workshop opens up the rule of 4 for Cerberus Raiders, I won't complain.
The rule of 4? What if they just remove the rule of 3 from the game?
It would be broken. Everything would be crazy. I think Drakari would be even more broken.
No, I think Admech. I mean, you would just take Cerberus Raiders until you ran out of points. And then that'd be the end of the game.
How bad have you been touched by the Cerberus Raiders? 'Cause nobody else believes it.
What do you mean nobody else believes it? Nobody
Nobody else
wants
says
to shell out the money for it. It's a different problem that no one believes it. No one is sitting here saying Cerberus Raiders are bad. I've never heard that sentence. You're the only lunatic who's just like, 27 Cerberus Raiders, where can I buy 40?
I get questioned on the Cerberus Raiders.
But then, you're also the crazy man who has... Crazy robot, my apologies. Who has like 25 commanders. Town commanders.
You need every commander.
Rule of 1 per detachment and rule of 3.
Every possible option.
Every possible option. We have so many Fusion Cold Stars. You have any Fusion Cold Stars?
Games Workshop is out of Lead Belcher, and that really upsets me because I had to paint Lead Belcher onto all these Cerberus Raiders.
What do you mean they're out of the primer?
They're just not making it for whatever reason.
Well, it's because people like you use different cheat codes.
John used all of it on his sisters,
John
which
used
didn't need to be silver.
They needed to be silver.
They could have been an actual sister scheme.
Nah. I mean, who are you to talk? All of your armies are red or blue.
Mine follow actual schemes.
Your Necrons is a red Necron army?
Yes.
Really?
There is a red Necron army.
I don't believe you.
It's in the codex.
Why? I think that's just an example of ways you can paint your Necrons that are metal.
No, there's an
Necrons don't have, like, red dynasties, do they?
They do.
They
They
like,
really do.
they paint their dynasties down?
And then my Admech is painted as Deimos. Forge World Deimos.
Not even a real one.
It is a real one.
Not
It's
even
the Grey Knight Forge World.
Not even one.
It's all
in the rules.
It's all together.
We got a super chat, Steve. You're not paying attention to our super chat.
$5 super chat from Ben. Goonhammer Tournament Write-Up has a GK list that got to the final table along with eating their words from their original review. Have you seen it? I have not seen their write-up just yet. However, it doesn't surprise me to see Grey Knights up there. They have, just like I've been talking about, they have baseline Marine stats with an OBSEC aura and a bunch of tricks on that. And they're not that much more expensive than regular Marines. Like, they're pretty reasonably costed outside the vehicles. But I think Grey Knights are in a great place, and it's just going to come down to figuring out the lists. And as soon as I get the other couple Dread Knights, I will be busting out 5 Dread Knights.
You want Dread Knights, Bam?
I think it is really good.
Oh, boy. Dread Knights. This is the addition of Dread and Terror.
Unfortunately, Purgation Squads aren't good anymore, but you do need some shooting, and Dread Knights are quite good at shooting.
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there is only the word dread.
Then they don't have -1 damage. That's the surprising thing.
Oh, so then what are you liking them for?
They shoot a lot.
And they shoot.
And they have
Everything
4 Binvol
shoots a lot.
inbuilt.
Play Tau if you want to shoot a lot.
Tau doesn't actually shoot a lot.
Okay, play Admech. You do.
That's the biggest misconception about Tau, is that it's a shooting army.
That is true.
If you play Tau as a shooting army, you're going to lose like a lot of games.
It's because they have no combat, so everyone just.
They do have combat.
Okay.
Nick, how many Succubi and Drazars have I killed in combat?
Not mine.
I have killed your Succubi in combat.
No. Never happened. Pixar didn't happen.
Every single game I played against you, Succubus has
No,
died.
sometimes she gets shot. Let's not lie here.
No, she made her saves shooting.
She does make her saves. What a champion.
But thanks so much for that super chat, Ben. I'll go back and check it out. I do love the weekly Goonhammer reviews of latest meta stuff. In the War Room, we do our own meta analyses of all the hot lists and how to beat them.
We do very exciting stuff in there. It's called Meta Monday, and also we do a bunch of other stuff. And in there, we talk about all the stuff that's good in the game, and all the stuff that's bad in the game, and why it's bad. And then also, we talk about my awesome Harlequin army. It's going to beat everybody when it's fully painted.
That's not one of the things we talk about. We talk about that as much as we talk about John's mythical knight list that he's going to win every event with.
We have been talking about that a lot.
John has.
We've been making fun of it a lot. Which is talking about super majors.
We got another $5 super chat from Kyle Norman. Thank you so much, Kyle. Richard, GK Army, Libby, Drago, Grandmaster, in Dread Knight armor, 3x5 strikes, 2x10 interceptors, 2x4 servitors, 2 Nemesis Dread Knights, and then 1x5 Psycan and Purgation Squad and Rhino. Split over Rapiers and Sword Patrol. I think that's a great list. I think, I often add the servitors in, and then usually at some point, like, if I cut these 2 servitor units and spend the remaining points I have in my list, I get an extra Grey Knight unit that actually does Psychic and is actually more durable. So I've typically end up dropping the servitors at the end, but I like having them in there because they're just cheap action monkeys.
Having trash is really important.
It is good. It is good. I've just found in the list that I've designed, I typically spend the points to upgrade them to something else, but them and the Rhino are like your tried and true non-psyker units.
Good old-fashioned Rhino.
I'm still skeptical on the Psycan and Purgation Squads. Honestly, they really do require CP to make them work efficiently, and I'd rather pump those CP into the Dread Knights and the Psychic phase.
The Psychic phase.
But it's not like they're horrible. I just think they require too much of your CP committed just by running them.
Right. I don't know. Sounds like not Harlequins to me, so not my interest.
See, the Grey Knights versus Harlequins, Nick. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I'm going to dance in circles around you, and you're going to not kill me because you lost Astral Aim.
Yeah, you think so?
And doesn't your range not great anymore, so I can just minus 6-inch range you?
You could minus 6-inch range, but then I'm going to spend 2 CP to teleport 10 interceptors right behind your army and blow you away.
Silly Siegs, there is no right behind my army. My Harlequins are everywhere at all times.
They really aren't.
They are. All times.
They're in the corner.
That's
not everywhere.
That's where Space Marines put me, but you're not playing Space Marines. You're playing Grey Knights. If you ask some people, they're different.
Nick in the corner is the most classic.
It is. Look, there are some staples of 40k, and it is me in the corner. That's been going on since like 6th.
My favorite Nick in the corner is that he's back there, right? All right, he's dominating the corner as he does.
Yes, I do.
But he's still not screening the literal backfield.
No.
So you got to let your opponent get retreat bacteria.
Like if you're going to be in the corner, don't screen the behind your corner. Invite your opponent to behind your corner. That way you can charge backwards.
That way your demon princes can do stuff in your backfield.
Exactly. They got to figure that out.
They got to be running around your backfield. Wily Coyote.
Who else is going to kill Hellions?
If you don't know what we're referring to, it was the game from yesterday where Nick played Death Guard. First time in a while.
That first time bust out the Death Guard in a while, painting Harlequins. This is a throwback week, Siegs.
We need you building something. That's a real throwback week.
Wow. Where's the Battle Sanctum? John broke my Battle Sanctum. How can he even get mad? He not only
definitely
broke
didn't break it,
but he lost it.
You built it poorly.
I didn't build it. Mark built it.
You started building most of it and then had Mark finish it.
No. I mean, that is
People
true.
watched it on stream.
That is true. But John broke it.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that piece just...
It went to Lone Star Open in John's possession and John's responsibility, and it came back without a piece. I don't know how you can spin zone that differently.
No, I definitely think he brought it back. He misplaced it. Probably got thrown out.
You think John misplaced it?
Yeah.
Really? John's misplaced
John misplaces something every day. And you know what it's called? His waters.
His waters. He does misplace the water.
So, the Battle Sanctum is partially water.
Good point.
All right.
More Super Chats?
Yes, another $5 super chat from Mr. Gundam. Thank you so much, Gundam. Would you guys consider streaming at 5 p.m. PST or later on YouTube? Most Warhammer channels stream then. It's just easier to watch. Probably double your live views. What we tried to do was create a schedule where about 50% of our audience is non-US based, largely in Europe, and also Australia has a significant portion of our viewership. So we wanted to try and come up with a time zone that worked for as many of our viewers as possible. Yeah,
if we start a stream at 5 p.m. PST, that is roughly midnight in Europe, 1 a.m. in Europe, so we would be changing demographics instead of just adding demographic. But appreciate the suggestion. Yeah. We're always looking at all those little metric things to figure out what is the optimal time to do our stuff.
Yeah, our audience in Europe is significant. I think the other channels probably has less of a European audience, so
I'm not sure how long you guys have been following our Art of War stuff, but we have changed time slots quite so many times. We used to do stuff on Friday evenings, for example, and all that is based on like your subscribers and whatnot feedback. So thank you for giving us feedback. And right now we just completed a War Room survey amongst our War Room members, and we're going to implement some of the very exciting changes that were proposed to us there in the next coming weeks, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, if you want a little preview of them, I was talking about them in the Discord and reorganized the Art of War Discord this morning. And there's going to be a full announcement as soon as we finalize the plans.
Seeks is an organizer of Discords.
Mm-hmm. I'm the master of the Discord.
Definitely not me.
It's definitely not Nick. It is me.
But I've learned how to change my voice and video settings without asking for help.
I changed your user profile.
Yeah, I saw
finally
it.
put
Yesterday
your picture on there and your name.
My picture. I see. Yes.
I put the Nick Nanavati classic.
The classic.
What's in the book?
Did you see me yesterday? I was reading yesterday.
I know, I saw it.
You saw it.
I didn't believe it, but I saw it.
Okay. Did you take pics?
No,
it
didn't happen. I didn't want it to happen. U.S. viewers where it at, though, probably would help to switch it around. We have really loyal European viewers.
We got really loyal everybody because we're awesome.
So we tried to be as accommodating as possible, but we are definitely open to experimentation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We're also open to puppies.
Definitely to puppies.
All puppies are welcome.
What about Catan? Star Gods.
No Star Gods here.
Well, Gundam wants the Star Gods, and I'm bringing them. It's going to be John Lennon busting out his Custodes, and I'm going to be bringing Star Gods.
Well...
You know what John's going to do?
What's John going to do?
He is going to try and bring as many hard counters as possible.
John...
Because I will submit my list a week and a half in advance, and he will submit it 2 nights before.
Interesting.
Just calling it right now. The shot is called.
Did you know what was interesting? So last week I actually got my list in a full week ahead of time, meaning 2 weeks ago I submitted my list for the games last week, which is something that is impressive for me. And John, who loves to give me all kinds of nonsense for when I mess up, was like, "Where's your list, Nick?" And I was like, "It's there." Because I was like not having any of that. And then he was like, "No, it's not." And I scrolled and I scrolled and I scrolled so far until I found them. And I was like, "See, when we get them in early, you can't even find them." That happened.
That did happen. Working from home makes it super easy to catch these. Yeah, that is safer. You get to catch Art of War. I mean, like, there's no downside.
There's no downside. And if you have puppies at home, you can hang out with your puppies.
Definitely.
And if you don't have puppies at home,
you can hang out with your Cerberus Raiders.
No, don't do that.
Yep.
That's
a transition.
That
is called a transition.
That was called a hijacking. I was mid-sentence and Siegs hijacked it and made it about AdMech. And that's not okay for anybody. No one
chat loves
that.
AdMech.
Does the chat love AdMech?
Chat absolutely loves it. Do you know how much positivity I got? I did an hour and a half AdMech clinic last week.
Yeah.
And if you want to see that, be a YouTube member.
Because I put it up. YouTube member. You put it up on YouTube.
I put it up once
for our YouTube members.
Once a week, we put up one Worm video a week as a teaser, and this week I put up that AdMech clinic.
No way.
Yep. So much knowledge in there, Nick.
Check
it out.
I should check it out.
Yeah.
I'm the one commenting about you playing AdMech. I'm telling the world about what you're doing.
You were telling about Rustalkers with exploding 5s and 6s and Mortals and...
Infiltrators, Rustalkers, it's all the same unit. They just kill you. There's no question.
They combined all of the Sicarans into one unit, and boy, is that unit scary.
They're all scary. They're all the same thing.
If Rustalkers had exploding 5s and 6s, oh my lord.
Sicarans follow rule of 6. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey guys, do you only get to see live battles in the War Room, or can you get VODs of the past battles?
You can get VODs of the past battles. All of our games are recorded and archived on our website. They are labeled, so you can just go scroll through them, and it's super easy to just do.
You can type in coaching game or just even game onto our search function, and if you have access to the War Room, you'll get access to all those videos. So you can go back to last year.
And even if you're located in a time zone or have some sort of lifestyle that won't be conducive to you watching our content live, you can always go back and check it out.
Or, on the other hand, you can pre-ask questions in our Discord.
Pre-asking questions?
Yep. Matt with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Matt. Mr. Sieg's complicated answer, I am sure, but what is the best way to attack your AdMech army? What should your opponent focus on first or try to deny? Well, the first thing they should do is shake my hand and let me get the 100 and move on to the next round.
The second thing they should do is get into the War Room where we have the Know Thy Foe clinic coming up. Basically, this is where we're going to take the opponent's perspective things and literally answer that question. You're playing Mr. Siegs in the finals of a GT, and you're like, what do I do? And you get into the War Room, and you know thy foe. That's what you do, but you can answer these questions.
I definitely think indirect fire. I think Squig Buggies are definitely one of the scarier things I could face. Good AP and 2 damage. A lot of my army is just 2 wounds all over the place with relatively poor armor saves. So that can be scary, and guess what? We are actually testing that tomorrow in the War Room with me playing Mr. Mark at Perry's Orc list.
Do we know how many Squig Buggies are going to be
He's running 9.
He's running the full 9.
He's running the full 9,
Oh,
and then on top of that, he brought all the anti-AdMech tools. So we're going to see how bad it can be for AdMech against Orcs, and what I can come up with that could potentially help that matchup. So we'll see how bad it is first, and we're going to be just stress testing my list. So if it's really bad, like I'm going to let him go first. We're going to just see how bad this could get. And then if it is actually bad, we'll see if I can make some tweaks to the list to make that more playable.
Very exciting.
You got to stress test your list. You got to play against the best stuff and the scariest stuff. So the Eldar indirect isn't as scary. It ignores cover, so that's annoying. But it's not 2 damage everywhere.
What about Drukhari? You always talk to me about how Drukhari's the best army in the game. Why aren't you scared of them?
I am scared of Drukhari. They're the hardest army to beat.
What do I do to beat you then?
Well, we are going to do a practice game with Kronos, because I haven't played into the Kronos build.
True.
But I do have ways to ignore Overwatch and have movement to slow them down. I also just have a ton of bodies. You know what Drukhari Raiders don't like?
Anything?
No, they don't like when you wrap them with giant base sizes and you can't disembark the stuff inside.
You wouldn't do that to me.
I would.
You really would.
I absolutely
Please
would.
don't. John did that to me, and I was not a fan. It's quite unfortunate.
I did it against poor Mr. Will Taylor, and if you want to hear about how it feels playing against my Admech list back-to-back games, you can check out the Art of War Unbroken episode, which we just put up like a day or so ago on our YouTube channel, part 1 at least.
Siegs, what is Art of War Unbroken?
It is a wonderful podcast where Blake Law and Brad Chester break down somebody who did really well at an event but missed that final hurdle. They went like 5-1 at a 6-round GT, or maybe lost some crucial games to a top player. How do you end up adapting your list? What choices could you have made differently? What did you learn from that game? So it's all about, what you actually can pull from a game and how to pull knowledge out of a game. So it's a great podcast.
It's about the process of learning from your mistakes and identifying your mistakes and just getting better by critically thinking. It's probably one of the most valuable skills you can learn in 40K and probably just in life in general.
Yep. I've been on there. I did it for the game that I lost of my talent to Nick Drukari for ACO. John has been on there.
Many times.
Shockingly. For somebody who loses a few games, he has actually been on there.
John loves to find a way.
He finds a way. But you can bet for sure whoever loses at the Las Vegas team event is going to be on there.
No. Why are you looking at me? So Nick, what did you learn from taking out the trash? Well, it sucks.
It sucks. Where's Ganya?
Where's Ganya? We need a new team dynamic. Alright, so we have successfully washed these Harlequins. That is...
Well, let me get back to this. We'll get back to this. All right.
Get back
Indirect fire. What else is good is other MSU armies that have cheap resources. So Drukari is just hard. You have to be able to... You can't make mistakes against Drukari.
You could.
You could, and then you lose.
Jack made a lot of mistakes yesterday with his Drukari and still won.
Yes, but if that Death Guard list had better tools and didn't have both his Plague Burst Crawlers tied up for the entire game.
They had to be tied up.
Like, please, Nick. 2 Hellions tying up these for 2 rounds. It's like...
I tried to shoot the Hellions before they tied me.
Not only could the Plague Burst Crawlers have blocked out Retrieve Octarias, so Jack only gets a 4 on that, or has to send more resources in front of your army to do it.
They didn't need to do any of that. They needed
that could have happened, and they get to shoot the whole game. It's almost like...
Needed to be on the front lines.
That final turn where all you needed to do was get the 15 on primary, which was possible if you didn't, and then get 6 on spread the sickness. You needed 1 more point to tie the game, 2+ to win it. And so denying a single retrieve would have won the game.
To make a counter argument, in this specific game, there was a turn where my 2 Plague Burst Crawlers were literally the only thing that could make that middle objective because Jack just blew up all my Terminators. So if they weren't there and they were screening the backfield from the evil Octarius data, then I would have denied 4 points to give Jack 5. Ever thought of that? Ever thought of that, Siegs?
You would have denied 8 points, though, if you denied...
He would have found a way to scramble on it. I'm playing Death Guard. He's scrambling.
Yeah, but by scrambling in front of you, you get charges into him. Tie up his raiders, then you get to block the objectors.
The raiders.
Yeah.
No. I move 4. Can't type it.
They give you charge moves.
I need an army with a movement phase. You know who has a movement phase? The Harlequins. The Harlequins.
Partial movement phase.
What do you mean partial movement phase? They move twice. 3 times even. Redeploy. Move 4 times.
Not when you fail Twilight Pathways.
I don't fail Twilight Pathways except for against you on turn 1 in front of a town art.
That was just great fun.
What a great game. What a great game.
And the town art was like, I'll pick up every single model in front of me. No
we
problem.
should have done one of those things where I wear mittens to fix the game state.
I would have happily accepted that.
We didn't come up with it at the time. Instead, we just let me die.
You were very against it because you had just done it so recently.
Of course, I'm always against it. It's demoralizing. It's like when the puppy has to wear a cone. It's just like, you know what you've done. Now I'm wearing mittens.
Well, we got the town art killing Azurman, so that's well worth it. We got a £5 super chat from Tom Green. Thank you so much, Tom. What do you think will be the one thing nerfed in each of the Thousand Suns, Grey Knights, and Orc Codexes? Squig Buggy points go up in Orc Codex.
I can see it. I don't want it, but I can see it.
I don't think anything else is that silly.
I don't know about Grey Knights. I don't think anything is really impressive in Thousand Suns. I think they need buffs.
Grey Knights, I would say Words of Power. And Thousand Suns, is there any like silly interaction that's poorly written?
I mean, you can do crazy stuff with the Cabal points. Like, you can just do, like, 9 mortal wounds to a character. Like, just doing it. But that's, like, the only thing your army gets to do. So I feel like don't take that away. Like, you could take that away if you give me more of an army. Then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that I was like, oh, this is just straight up broken for Thousand Suns.
Heldrakes?
Heldrakes?
Mark's on about the Heldrakes.
What about the Mutilith Vortex Beast?
Well, you gotta have 3 of those. That's staple and standard. Classic. Triple Mutilith.
Just for Mark, the Mutilith Vortex Beast get nerfed somehow. But I don't see Thousand Suns getting...
Can Racers cast Smite?
I like that they finally can and he stopped taking them.
Wow.
They completely changed this unit. So to be
Completely.
fair.
But they now
still.
cast Smite.
They do cast Smite. That because he kept saying that was the one thing. Like, this would put them over the top.
That would. It would. That's why he doesn't run them anymore.
Thanks so much, Tom. Then we got Clown Mode with the $2 super chat. Nick, will you be on Unbroken for losing that bet?
Clown Mode! So I could. We played Star Realms. That was the bet, actually. Star Realms is a little card game we like to play for funsies. It's like a little deck building card game where you battle each other. Anyways, a lot of that game, strategy, tactics. A lot of that game,
RNG, baby.
RNG. Feels great. There was...
John loves RNG games. Settlers of Catan is a terrible game. It's a terrible game.
We played 2 games of Settlers of Catan. It was me, Jack, and John. Siegs, of course, was in the lair, as one does. And then
I'm working, baby.
John rolled, and then it happened, and he's been blessed by the gods, and that's just the way it works. So he just demolished the first game, ran away with it, wasn't close. In the second game, I did the same exact thing. I rolled, and then I won. And that's how it worked. And when John won, it's because John was skillful. And when I won, it's because I got lucky. That's what happens when you ask John.
I hope John shows up in chat.
I hope he's watching right now. That game causes so much rage. Especially because me, Siegs, and John and Jack, we're all like friends with each other, so we just like attack each other so much more viciously.
Welcome to the pay-to-win model. If it was pure win, these guys wouldn't consistently win everywhere. What was the stat that John told us for 9-round events?
Art of War has won every 3-day tournament since Jim Vessel won Adepticon in 2018. Now, granted, 2019. 2020 kind of didn't exist, but that's still like a year and a half, 2 years of raw actual winning. And then a year off in between them.
Now, we won't win LGT because we're not going to be there. But
but that wasn't...
it's coming
days.
up.
Oh, is it 3 days now? It wasn't 3 days back in the day.
I think it's supposed to be a 9-rounder now.
Back then, it was a 5-rounder.
It's supposed to be like 500 players, 9 rounds, so it should be a big one.
It used to be 500 players, 5 rounds.
Let's see.
That's a stat. Look at that statistic.
Nurgle Mad is a champion. Love this guy.
Oh, that's not true.
Oh boy, the Nick, we washed, we done, sign off.
Who? What? Who? Sign off what?
Nurgle Mad is saying the classic Nick Nanavati. You wash at the beginning of a stream, then you don't do anything else for the rest of it.
We know what we're about. I could paint this guy. This guy hasn't been... These two have not been washed. But
Nurgle Matt says he was trying to help you out in the game, and you were just not doing things.
What do you mean I was not doing things?
You were not the true servant of Nurgle. Nurgle Matt is.
Nurgle Matt, you are the true servant of Nurgle. Your donations mean that. But I will say that at one point in my life, I was good at Death Guard.
What did you win with Death Guard?
Games.
Got him. A lot of second places.
A lot of second places. Classic. You know how many second places
you got knocked out of the top 10?
Do I have more? Did I really?
Yeah, you're not in the top 10 of the ITC anymore.
LVO team tournament's got to fix that up. You know, one of my scores is a 3-2 finish at a 24-person tournament.
Shocking.
Isn't it? Not even a GT. I have a 5-round RTT where I went 3-2 contributing to my score. And with that, I was in the top 10. With that, I was in the top 3 for a while.
Yeah.
That's called domination.
I am the highest scoring 2-event person.
I'm proud of you, Siegs. Well done. What are you?
I'm gonna sneak in right at the end. I'm gonna play exactly 6 events, win the rest of them, and.
So what do you got on your schedule here? You got Vegas teams.
We got Vegas teams. Then we've got New Orleans. Then we got SoCal potentially. Then we have Austin, and then LVO.
And And that gives you room to spare. You can mess up an event.
I could mess up an event.
You know,
if one of them doesn't happen.
Not Siegs will mess up an event. Just
one of them doesn't happen. Don't touch my AdMech.
Yeah, I'm not going to get nerfed before LVO.
I'll have to go back to
It's like
Tau.
a chapter approved or something between now
Right,
and then.
I'll have to go back to Tau.
You wouldn't.
Stop.
You would not bring Tau to LVO unless they get like new rules. Would you?
If they got new rules, 100%.
No,
if they don't.
If they don't. Like if AdMech get nerfed and they're no longer relevant, what would you bring to LVO?
Probably Grey Knights.
Really? You think Grey Knight's got what it takes?
Yeah.
Grey Knight's got the stones?
I just need more games with them.
Grey Knight's got the Kniggets?
There's a lot of... I haven't been playing with the redeploy or the OBSEC vision. I think both of those are essential for winning. It's just... You need tricks.
What have you been playing with?
All sorts of stuff.
Redeploy I can understand.
I don't have
I
an
skip
upgrade.
redeploy a lot, but like OBSEC is broken.
No, I have the OBSEC Aura. Okay. It's an once per game. At the start of any phase, you just have OBSEC on this unit.
Any phase. Like, I'm gonna do it at the start of
my
your
command
phase, start of my command phase.
All of a sudden, there's an OBSEC over here.
Start of the morale phase?
Yeah, if you need to.
Me too.
I need to make sure my banner doesn't get taken down. OBSEC.
That's how it's done.
So, I just need to finalize and get the rest of the models that I need for Grey Knights, but I think they are genuinely strong.
When do you call it? Just the start of the phase you call it?
Yeah, I believe it's start of the phase.
That's cool. We'll see.
Let's see. $10 super chat from Greg Gonzalez. Thank you so much, Greg. Enjoyed your Death Guard matchup. However, Death Guard seem to have fallen off since release against top armies. What is the best way to make them relevant? What did you learn from that game?
That's a great question.
Where are you headed with Death Guard?
Well, so I actually think the Plague Burst Crawlers need to be played more forwardly, like the way I did. I disagree with Siegs as they should be screening the backfield. I think I should have had 10-man Poxwalkers screen the backfield, especially against Yukari. They don't actually kill 10 Poxwalkers from range at all. They like would against Dark Lances at it, so that would have worked fine. And then I would have blocked rods that way. And then the Plague Burst Crawlers, if they're being used aggressively, basically to escort DM Princes and be screens for Terminators and just kind of exist on objectives, taking up a lot of physical space, so you can't put that many models onto the objective yourself. I think that's a good use for the Crawler. But if you're going to use the Crawler like that, give it the damn Flamers. Forget these Entropy Cannons. Like, the Entropy Cannons used to be good because the game used to be a lot slower. But now, I'm just getting in combat every 5 seconds because Yukari are a faction, AdMech are getting combat and fast, and Sisters, they just make 12-inch charges, and who knows. So, I'm getting in close combat. And I have to accept that. So I need to take things that are fine with being close combat, like the Despitters. So I think that would have been a good change. I always want more Poxwalkers. Like I said at the end of that game in the post, I was like, why don't I... Every time I play
You had a
Death Guard,
20-man. Yeah, it was just one 20-man.
I would have really liked more Poxwalkers. I actually liked the Blakemans, though. So I don't think they need to go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I don't mind a Cloud of Flies target.
I think the game is not... Not only is the game faster than it used to be, like all these armies came out and they're a lot faster than Death Guard. Back when I was dominating with Death Guard, it was like Death Guard and Dark Angels were the armies, and it's like, okay, I can do this. Now, I think the issue is that not only is speed up there, damage is also up there, because there's a lot more newer codexes,
Especially Mortal Wounds.
They get that D6 plus 3 on the damage, so it's just like, or the D3 plus 3 on the damage. So it's like, minimum 4 damage is really good into killing a Terminator. A squad Dominions is really good at killing 3 Death Shroud Terminators. It's just like, it's too much to keep up with. So I think focusing on Terminators are tough as the mainstay of the Death Guard probably is an outdated mantra. Would I replace it with though? I have no idea. Death Guard have been riding the struggle bus, unfortunately. Which is unfortunate because they're one of the cooler factions. And Chaos needs some loving. Siegs, why don't you love Chaos?
I despise Chaos.
That is another way of saying what I asked, but why?
What is there to like about Chaos?
Fate Weaver.
Fate Weaver is terrible.
So is Farsight.
Fate Weaver is stuck in the Dawnblade, okay? Farsight
The
took
town is stuck inside of the warp. The whole thing is just lost.
No, he's stuck inside Azurman's head.
I'm stuck in my bedroom.
Yeah, that's true.
But not for much longer. I'm fixing that tomorrow. That's the plan.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think so.
When are we watching Lord of the Rings, Nick? When are you writing an essay for chat?
Well, John said... I said any day. And then John said, if I catch you watching random TV or doing some other time-wasting activity, then we're going to watch Lord of the Rings. So I waited for John to leave the house, and then I watched random TV and wasted my time. And now John's in North Carolina. So...
He'll be back, though. I'm telling him about this.
Telling John what? There's nothing to tell. Let's do some dry brushing. No, let's not dry brush these Harlequins. That's not good.
Dry brush after you wash them.
There's a technique here, Siegs. There's a technique. It's the patented brown technique.
There's some skill here.
The brown magic. No, I don't think that's the move, though. I think we need to actually use a brush.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Hunter. The fact that Rustalkers can just go through ruins is a huge deal, whereas Dragoons are easily move blocked because of their giant bases.
100%. Infantry and fly are the two best keywords in the game. Can we also talk about my Solitaire, who's just chilling right here? He's pretty cool. He hasn't seen the table in a minute.
That's because he's terrible.
He doesn't have to be terrible.
Matto with a $5 super chat. John is the 9th ranked Sisters player with only 3 out of 4 events. You guys need to get him back on White Scars for the rest of the season so Matt can win top Sisters.
Look, I am going to win best White Scars player, so it doesn't matter. And you know that's true because John's not playing White Scars. And even if John was playing White Scars, don't matter. Don't matter. Your boy's got the yellow White Scars. I think I'm going to play White Scars to LVO. What do you think about that, Seeks? Again, Redemption Tour.
You're going to play White Scars?
Well, Jukari would be the safe bet, right? I have a nice full Jukari army. I'm pretty good at the game or something. I know what I'm doing with that faction, actually. But YOLO White Scars. I got Vanguard vets.
Who knows? We might get chapter approved before then.
Or Black Templars. Jack was schooling me with those Jack Templars. I won that game, though. How does that make you feel? Jack in direct assault with Black Templars still won. Jukari.
It didn't help that 2 Redemptors just instantly died.
That's what Redemptors and Black Templars do. They're not like a well-supported Dreadnought. One turn of a 4-up invul is just like, okay, I won't attack you that turn.
Yeah.
And then they're all dead.
He felt that.
I get John's obsession with Dreadnoughts, but also they're not that great.
They are.
They're good. They're very good. But you can't just plug them into any army and then be like, this army's better. There's Dreadnoughts here. That's just not how it works.
Well, you can see he only has 1 in White Scars, so he does kind of agree.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, Matt, we are rooting for you for Sisters for sure. What about Blight Haulers, Nick?
That's a unit I haven't looked at since the book dropped. I kind of think they suck, but I'm willing to relook at them. They have interesting uses in Death Guard. And if I'm making a list premise that's not Terminator based, because they're just not tough anymore apparently, I might look at more vehicle heavy. I wish bloat drones were different data sheets. You know how Cerberus Raiders and Sulfur Hounds are different data sheets, and 2 planes from Admech are 2 different data sheets, so you can take 6 units of them, which Seeks does. I wish bloat drones with the Flesh Mower and bloat drones with the Flamer were 2 different data sheets, but instead they're 1 with an upgrade.
I haven't taken 6 planes since the book came out.
You were talking about it yesterday.
That's because you disrespect it. It's still legitimate.
I'm going to disrespect your Admech every single day for the rest of your life, Seeks.
All right. Well, you lost to Agrippina and made fun of Agrippina.
So did Brad and John. And those are the best players in the world according to stats.
Agrippina, baby. It was partially for the style points, but I also think they have good
It was nothing besides the style points. It was you were just lying to all of us for a week straight. You were even lying to yourself, I'm pretty sure.
Agrippida's good. Leave it. Let's see. Tons and tons of questions. Let's see. If Art of War wins literally every tournament they go to, is it possible is it possibly time for a pro circuit of sorts?
There's a pro circuit. We're making one right here. It's the Art of War pro circuit. If you're on it, you got it. If you're not on it, that sucks.
No. There's a lot of really good players out there, so we love the competition. That's why we're going to the Las Vegas Teams event.
That's true. That's true. I'm really excited for this. A lot of good competition going to the Las Vegas Teams. We got Team Battle Brothers in attendance. We got the Pro Tabletop guys. We've got
Frozen North Game.
Frozen North. Colin Sherman and those Seattle Best in Faction guys are coming down. It should be a good tournament. And there's going to be all kinds of West Coast teams that I am not familiar with. Who knows?
Team Zero Comp?
Team
Smite
Zero
Club?
Smite Club?
Mm-hmm. That's Don Houston's team.
Ah, the Smite Club. But you know what? You know what, Siegs? I say bring it on.
Yeah, I like a good challenge.
My Harlequins are going to dance circles around them.
If they get painted.
They're getting painted. What do you think is happening right now? We're literally watching paint dry.
You gotta wash and dry brush.
Wash
and dry brush.
Dry brush. It's a technique.
$5 super chat from Matthew Bailey. Thank you so much, Matthew. Has anyone figured out Thousand Suns yet? I personally think the Terminators are a trap, and you play Hero Hammer with them. What do you guys think? What do you feel, Nick?
I actually had the initial first impression you did. I still agree with you that I think Terminators are a trap because they're not -1 damage in combat, and there are armies in close combat that just charge you and just kill you, and that's the end of that conversation. And because your smites and all your offensive stuff is mostly 18 inches and requires line of sight, if there's like 5 Vanguard veterans and white scars behind a wall, or maybe
8 Rust Stalkers,
or 8 Rust Stalkers,
Metallica,
or even like 5 Zephyrim with a Morven Vol buff. There's a lot of Repentia. Don't get me started. So I don't think that you can just make an army on direct line of sight, mortal wound output, or for lack of comparison, 18-inch line of sight shooting, and expect it to be good. Unless you're really, really, really tanky, you can just take the damage in return because you're going to be smiting a wall. And you're not that tanky, so it sucks. So I agree with you that Terminator spam is a trap. It's one of those, like, can your list beat this kind of list? Because if your army can't punish the Terminators in close combat, and you have to shoot them away, or you just can't kill them because they are hard to kill for certain types of damage, that sucks. You're going to have a rough game. But I don't think it's consistent enough to be a real long-term solution. So I don't know what that looks like. I haven't really figured out Thousand Suns, but it's something we are working on in this Stream Team house.
Imagine losing to Agrippina.
Could you?
I should have run Graia, to be fair. I should have run Graia. There's 0 redeeming qualities about it. It would have been just the data sheets and the rules that win me.
So, want to know a fun story? I was talking to Chester about Admech maybe a couple weeks ago, right around the time you're running Agrippina, and he was we were talking about, like, why don't people run any other Admech types? Like, we've only focused on, like, Mars and Lucius. Like, are there any other types of Admech that are good? He's like, yeah, Graia is great. I was like, oh, what's Graia do? They have the 4-up deny strat. He's like, no, they're basically Bloody Rose for Admech, meaning they're the combat version of Admech. Fun fact, they're not.
He was thinking of Ryza.
Well, he said Graia, and it sent me down a whole spiral.
Really. Graia is unredeemingly bad.
Why are you so against the Graia?
Because they nerfed the one thing they did well, the strat, and then they gave them no other good rules.
That's unfortunate.
They're really bad. Almost every other Forge World you could play and do well with. Like, Stygies is actually good. Ryza, Metallica is awesome. Mars and Lucius are still super strong.
Name one other good Forge World. Not Admech Forge World. The company Forge World. Name a Forge World unit that you like.
A Forge World unit that I like?
Yeah.
The Terex Drill.
The Terex Drill. You used to run 3 of those. What happened to those days?
They got really expensive, and they don't have 6 attacks anymore. So they don't hit as hard in combat. But there's like flat 6 damage plus D3 against vehicles in combat.
That's pretty good.
So they could just pop out and be like, cool, I'm going to shoot 5
raiders.
Melted shots.
Hit the YOLO 9 on the charge.
I always hit the YOLO 9. If it's the Silent King, it's automatic.
You are good at the YOLO 9. It's unfortunate. You don't even use CP. You just hit it.
I'll just hit it.
You just hit it.
I don't want to spend CP.
I know.
So
you
I'm
wouldn't
not going
spend
to.
CP. You just decide to hit it. Mark, he rolls a 9, decides I want to go further and roll.
I want to go for the 11-inch charge.
The 11.
Wait. Are there like 4 servitors back there too?
I want to get
What
those.
is that? 11-inch charge? Done. My favorite thing is he played Ember's Children for so long and barely used Honor the Prince. Just didn't need to.
It just didn't need to.
Honor the Prince was a safety net for Mark.
Honor the Prince is so good. It lets you make 12-inch charges, or you could just roll 12s.
You could just roll them. Imagine Mark with Miracle Dice. He would just have a pile of 5s. He'd have a pile of 5s and 6s because he'd just go for it anyway. Just go for it. I'm going to save this for my second charge, so let's just nail the first one.
I'm going to save this for a random save. You never know. Maybe bringing Carabridge back to life. Mark, you're going to fail this 11-inch charge. No, I'm not.
It's guaranteed. He sacrificed.
But then when he does fail it, it's not pretty.
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty. So I'm just trying to wait for the paint to dry a little bit more, so I can then apply the next wash. I'm not even joking.
Just perpetual washing.
You gotta shade and then bring it back up. And the fastest way to shade is by washing, because every other type of shading takes longer.
This is the painting expertise you come for.
This is.
How do you guys feel about players that want to count up on wounds? They are wrong, and they should feel bad about it.
You know who used to count up on wounds? Mark. We beat that out of him somehow. I actually used to also, but we can all be wrong.
It's wrong.
I don't, like, as long as you're consistent, it's not like a problem, but it's just like you're making this so much more complicated than this needs to be.
If they insisted on doing it, I would count down for them myself.
And you know what the counter argument that they always bring this up. They're like, well, if you're gonna count down, you should start with a wound marker on your models. I'm like, no, you just don't have to do that. Like, your model starts with the wounds on its data sheet. Your opponent can ask if they're unsure, and then you put a die there. And that's how many wounds it has left, and that's the end of it. I don't understand why everything has to be so complicated.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. You know what keep it simple is, Siegs?
Yep, I know exactly what it is.
It's a Wi-Fi.
It used to be. I got rid of that.
Why'd you get rid of it?
Because it was stupid.
It wasn't stupid. It was great. Siegs thinks all of my password naming protocols are stupid.
They're really hard to remember.
That's good. That is what you want out of a good password.
Not when you can't remember them. You don't have a memory.
I can't remember anything. That's total. I have a phone for this. They remember my passwords for me.
A few top 3 lists had 8+ Venatari. I mean, Venatari are super strong. The thing is, you can only use the strat once. And without the strat, they aren't that good. So it's more of the case of redundancy. I really like Shield Guard with 3-up invulns and +1 saving throw. They're just tanks.
I've seen lists run double Venatari. I've never seen triple. And I don't know. I agree with Siegs. Like, you're using the strat. John and I have talked about it at length, and it's just like the idea is like you're using the strat on one unit, then it gets obliterated, and then you use the strat on the next unit, and you just always have Venatari pumping out the damage. They're not cheap. They're just not cheap. I don't want a unit that's not being buffed all the time.
If the meta was less vehicle and transport heavy, I'd like it more.
Yeah, if it was a horde meta, that could be solid.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would totally go for them over more Shield Guard.
But it's not a horde.
Because they can shoot into combat with the pistols, too.
Maybe it's time for orcs to rise. What can I do with Grots? Grot Horde?
You can try.
I could try.
They pretty much beat the Horde out of orcs, which is unfortunate.
That's like their iconic thing they do.
And apparently they don't want that to be. They want you running kill rigs and squid buggies.
You can beat the Horde out of the orcs, but you can't beat the orcs out of the Horde Siegs.
That's science.
That's science.
Necrons deserve their points cost because total objective secured plus double is amazing rule this edition. I mean, that's the only thing keeping Necrons alive, is the fact that they have that combo.
What's the combo?
The have OPSEC on anything you want.
Yeah, that is the only thing keeping Necrons alive.
I mean, it helps them play the mission, and that is what Necrons do, because their damage is pretty darn mediocre.
It's great.
It's so mediocre.
You can take 9 heavy destroyers.
No.
And then shoot.
And then they die.
D3 plus 3 damage. Reroll the hit, reroll the wound. Can they do that? Can you actually?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
They nerfed the strat.
No, not the strat. Isn't there like a...
You reroll ones to hit.
Reroll one. No, not the Lord. Isn't there a custom dynasty or a real dynasty that gives you 1 for a reroll like Master Artisans?
Yes.
So
it's a custom trait.
So can you use that for a free reroll to wound, and then use your Lord for reroll ones to hit, and then you have like actually really accurate heavy destroyers?
But it's only on 1 per unit.
3 heavy destroyers. How many 1s and 2s are you planning on rolling? It's 3 shots.
I mean, you could roll a lot.
You roll 3 2s, sucks to suck, man. Like
that's what Necron shooting is. It sucks to suck.
No, I'm saying you're getting to invest in it. How much does a heavy destroyer cost these days?
60 points.
Can they move and shoot?
Yes.
10 inches?
They move 10 or 8.
That's not bad. That's not bad. How tough are they?
Not tough at all.
How tough are they?
The best they can get is a 5-up invul.
And toughness.
They're T5. They're a destroyer. They're T5. 4 wounds.
4 wounds. It's better than 3 wounds. They have 3-up armor. They're infantry though. I get 2-up armor. Honestly, this isn't bad. Like 4 wounds, 2 of 5-up sitting in the backfield just shooting.
Because they're just instantly dead. What is not going to kill them? Everything in the
Your
game.
AdMech army from range won't kill them. Then again,
Let's go grab some dice, please.
What are you even shooting?
I'm going to shoot my single ranger unit that is going to obliterate them.
Those can't shoot.
It's called Metallic have 2 ways to get +1 to wound.
They're not going to do any of that. There's like warriors and stuff in the way. You're going to shoot them.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna
No, I actually would ignore the destroyers because they're terrible.
That's what I'm saying. You're like, they'll just die. Like, they won't just die. They'll get ignored.
I would kill everything else and laugh as the destroyers don't do anything.
That's a different I'll agree that that's what's going to happen.
Clown Mode with a $2 super chat. How do you feel about 5 Dread Knights into AdMech? If they're running a lot of chickens, it could get bad quickly. However, 13 wounds does help. 13 wounds and 4 up invuln does definitely help them. You at least have the shooting to respond as well. So it's not like Grey Knights are helpless and not able to do any damage to them. So, but still, I'd probably prioritize still focusing down all the AdMech board control.
Okay, we're going to paint this Harlequin. We're going to paint this one Harlequin to completion today.
I definitely think the lists that are running 3 to 7 or 8 last cannon Iron Striders is still not that common. You might see some of the flyers too, the Stratoraptors, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to rely on the defensive buffs that you can put up, the straight up 4-up invuln and count as in cover.
For what?
To keep your Dread Knights alive.
Oh, this is above my pay grade. I don't know about the Dread Knights.
Definitely not the easiest matchup, but like I said, there's not a ton of lists that are running. The heavier terrain, the less last kind of Iron Striders you'll see. However, that hurts Dread Knights because they're also vehicles that can be move blocked.
What do you mean it hurts Dread Knights?
I would say AdMech is still one of the hardest matchups for Grey Knights.
AdMech's the hardest matchup for every faction in the game.
I think the Drukhari mirror matchup is the hardest for Drukhari.
I don't think the Drukhari matchup is that bad. I think it really is. There are variables to it which kind of make it out of hand, unfortunately. Like if you have bad terrain and just get shot by Drukhari, I mean, that's always just a Drukhari problem. It's kind of the first person who gets DMAC loses. So to me, you have a say in that matter by just playing better with terrain and target priority and all that. But I don't know. If someone rolls 5s and you're not rolling 5s, that is unfortunate.
With terrains, you're going to outplay most AdMech players pretty damn easily. I mean, I saw Mr. Danny McDevitt go down in Blaze of Glory against you at Charity Hammer.
But I mean,
that was so easy for you. You didn't have to do anything.
I'm not saying it wasn't. Danny put up a good fight, but he made mistakes. I capitalized on. Drukhari's very good at capitalizing on mistakes. But if he didn't make those mistakes, what are my outs? He's just better than me. My whole game plan with Drukhari is to capitalize on mistakes. That's why I haven't beaten your AdMech with Drukhari. You're a robot.
That's the way it's going to remain.
Remember all those times I beat you though, so I'll just think back to those.
The one time?
Many times. How many games have we played Seeks? Thousands.
No, in a tournament I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I've won the most recent one. You haven't beaten me in this edition in a tournament.
I only played you once.
Not if we count our Streamhouse RTTs.
Oh yeah, I did beat you in that.
I've beaten you in those.
I just beat you with that, Mac.
That wasn't a real RTT. That was a Chester RTT. I'm talking about where I was crowned king of the Streamhouse.
I was crowned king of the Streamhouse.
When my Drukhari beat your AdMech. You remember that happen? I remember that happening.
That was old AdMech.
You're citing 8th edition to me, and you're telling me that the old Codex counts as old?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't beat the new AdMech.
Well, I've beaten everyone else's new AdMech. That's going to be enough. Maybe I'll play AdMech at LVO.
I would love to see you try and play AdMech.
Try and play. You have seen me try and play AdMech. I did great.
It was a disaster. It's killing everything Mark has and still loses. He sat in the corner the whole game.
I was mesmerized by the power of my guns. I was like, this is just cheating. How do people lose with this army? And apparently it's by not forgetting how to move. But I could have remembered that.
Oh, man. Those were good times.
I was talking a lot of smack that game.
Yeah, you were.
It's good. It's good.
There we go. I put the camera back.
What was it before? Oh, now it's us. Or
No, they wanted to see the paint.
they want to see the palette.
They want
to see the palette.
The disgusting Nick palette.
It's not disgusting.
Need to pack an army to bring to LVO. Any thoughts on this? Whatever army you're best at and have the most experience playing, you should bring.
Don't bring yellow white scars. Not that white scars aren't good. It's that switching an army at the last second before a super major is not wise. Learn that the hard way. You don't think that's one of those things you have to learn the hard way, but it is.
Hey guys, love your work. In the absence of Jack and John, how do you guys rank the top 5 Marine chapters for singles tournaments, and how does that ranking change for team play? Well, we actually did a ranking of what we think are the top 5 builds, period. Nick and I a couple days ago, so check that out on the YouTube channel. But 2 melee Marine chapters made it.
2 melee Marine chapters. Which ones? The Iguanas?
White Scars,
Blood Ravens.
Black Templars.
Imperial Eagles.
Nope.
Whatever happened to Blood Ravens? Like, they were a chapter for a while, and now they're just...
Dawn of War just went into the dumpster as a franchise.
Oh.
And they were the poster boys of Dawn of War.
I see. What happened to Dawn of War? They were just like, no more of this?
It started out as an actually good RTS and slowly became a hero hammer silly game that was panned by every critic when they released the 4th version.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started out amazing. Like the first couple games were really good.
Did you play?
Yeah. Soulstorm is awesome. Really love Soulstorm.
Soulstorm.
What are the models we're working on? So Nick is attempting to work on Harlequins, just throwing washes all over them.
No, I'm now painting an actual Harlequin. You can see.
And then I'm working on Cerberus Raiders.
Highlights. Highlights. Do you even know how to highlight?
Yeah, I have highlights all over my armies. Okay, the
Do you see any highlights?
the
This is a
base-coated-
silver pony.
the
No
base-coated
highlights.
model. Let's go get your best painted model versus mine.
We will. We will. What even is your best painted model?
That's a tough one. There's a lot of good painted models
Not even
in my
one.
army.
Not even one.
Probably a Blood Angel. Probably. It's either a Blood Angel, Call, or...
Crude Shaper.
The Silent King's pretty good.
Silent King.
I did a good job on him.
Silent King is not that good. He is not.
He's dominated Nick's Harlequins in the past. I'll tell you that.
That's not a feat. Everyone can just do that.
Everyone can dominate your Harlequins?
They won't win the game necessarily, but they will definitely. I'll run around.
Kelsey says, Nick loved you on Grim After Dark. Can't believe you gave out all your secrets in those 15 minutes.
Oh, you know, I'm not one to keep the secrets hidden. The good secrets are the ones that stay hidden. The secret trade stuff, you know. But I appreciate you watching. I was bummed that Grim After Dark interview. We kind of botched the technology side to it, unfortunately. Should have called Siegs. But
I am the master of all technology here. It's funny because Nick has a problem and then I just walk into the room and the technology...
He doesn't sit down, he doesn't fix it, he doesn't touch it. It just starts behaving. Absolutely.
That's when you know you're an actual tech priest.
Look, you can call yourself whatever you want as long as I don't have problems. It's a great relationship.
Fabricator General.
Fabricator General.
Mm-hmm. I'm the High Lord of Terra. Good evening. Is Jack still playing Blood Angels or has he given up on them? Jack thinks Drukhari is the way. He's about...
Well, he also thinks
5
Black
months
Templars is the way too. He really liked playing Black Templars the other day.
Black Templars are a great army.
They are. I don't know. Jack cannot pick a faction and stick with it. That's a fact of Jack. So it's always fleeting with him. You'll never really know what he thinks is good. Well, you will. He's very vocal, but you'll never. It might change next week.
Yeah. Faction loyalty is not a strength.
It is for Siegs.
It is for me.
I don't think it is for me. I wouldn't say I'm disloyal to my faction.
It was before 8th edition, right, though? You predominantly played Chaos?
Oh, yeah. I only played Chaos, basically up until 8th. But then Chaos couldn't hang.
still can.
Yeah, it's been a recurring problem. I do love chaos. There was also that time in history where chaos could hang, but it was only 200 cultists, and that also isn't for me.
You did play it though, right?
Well, yeah. But playing it taught me that it's not for me. So then I played it works, because that's a real improvement.
You just wanted mopped up Ludus.
I didn't. It was just the only thing that was good at the time in that game, and 8th was just hordes versus hordes versus hordes. Horde meta is my least favorite.
Yeah, I played Tau. That was not a horde.
Not when horde meta was all the rage. Or maybe you did play
played
Tau.
the Poxwalker,
You weren't
played
successful with Tau when horde meta was all the rage. You just couldn't have been. Back in those days, when horde meta was a thing, it was simply just math. It was just not even math hammer. You weren't just like rolling dice at each other. It was just like mathematically, what you do doesn't matter to my army because I have too many models. Because back then things weren't scaled properly at all. So it was just like, I have more stuff than you have bullets, and it's OPSEC. GG. You remember those times, Siegs?
I didn't play that first year of 8th edition.
That is what I'm talking about. And also the second, Pox Cancer, like unnerfed Poxwalkers, that was something.
Poxwalkers have come so far. They're still good.
They are still
Somehow. Just not broken. What do you guys like to see out of Custodes in the 9th edition codex? Pretty big overhaul or very similar to current? I like their rules right now. They need more data sheets.
I don't even know if that's necessarily true. I actually like Custodes, like,
Well,
kind of as...
they're heavily reliant on Forge World, which I don't think a codex should be.
Right, I agree with that. I think Custodes could stand for a little bit more diversity. Having a cheap unit would do a lot for them, just like some cheap thing. They have Sister Silence, I guess, but a better cheap unit.
John's proposed moving them to troops, but you can only take one per custodian troop. That way you can get cheap OPSEC with your custodians.
I suppose.
That would genuinely help.
I don't know how much I value, like, squishy OPSEC in that army.
Just a nice trade piece you can throw out in a turn.
The Custodes don't trade. They're not interested in trading.
I'm worried that they're going to lose like most of their Psychic Awakening stuff, which is where a lot of the power of that codex is.
I don't... They might. I think we're just being speculative now.
Yeah, I mean, we're being speculative, period.
Don't tell me what I'm being.
So, I don't know. I would really like to see them be more of an even more elite army, but really darn difficult to deal with. So, like, each of their models should be heroes. They should have 1 to, like, 3-man units at most. And you should get... each unit should be buffed based on the things it achieves in the game.
What about my 9-man Custodes Shield Guard unit that I came up with yesterday?
No.
No? I kind of liked it. You didn't.
It's a little too static.
Does it need to do anything?
I mean, I don't want all the points in one spot, because it's probably going to be near a Telemon too. And then a character. And at that point, it's a lot in one place.
That is true. That is like how my army would play, just like one giant brick.
Yeah, so I think Dawn of War is going to be real bad for you.
It's fair. I'll buy it.
Our Necron's a lost hope. What do they need in order to compete again? Would really love to get an extra set of rules. Army of Renown, special, rules for Zerican Dynasty or something, like anything. Sawtech, whatever it is. Just, they need extra layers of rules. The command protocols are terrible. On top of that, most of their stuff is still overcosted. So they needed points drops in the last chapter proof, and they got points increases, and that was the wrong way to go. So they're just sitting waiting for points drops.
What about Hexmark Destroyers?
They need to be cheaper because they have a 1 damage pistol for some reason.
They are broken.
The Kellermorph is infinitely better.
You know, it's
embarrassing.
It's just sad when you're comparing yourself to GSC, and they're saying they're better.
Yes, GSC is not a better faction. The Kellermorph is better than the Galactopus.
The Galactopus! He's got the Glock.
So,
Alright, Siegs, you know what time it is?
time for another wash.
Time for another wash. Read my mind, my friend.
I'm already in your mind.
Actually, it's not time for another wash. It's almost time for another wash, but not quite just yet. We need to put some more colors on this guy before we wash him away. Necromancer Cloak.
Nick needs more faith in the Omnissiah of that or more oil and purity seals. He definitely needs more of all of that.
What do you mean?
Servitor Nick must obey the holy oils.
I don't need to obey oil. That's just a weird
You need to obey the machine code. But I'm going to anoint you with the oils.
What is the machine code, Siegs?
It's telling you to do
Is this like coding? I took a coding class in college. I didn't even go to it. Did very poorly.
This is why Servitor Nick has been dispatched. He's serving eternal penitence here. The Art of War.
Look, I was just not interested in coding. That life, not for me. Be incredibly good with technology and detail oriented. Okay? Nope, not for me. Do you ever do coding, Siegs?
A little bit.
A little
I
bit.
used the software Dreamweaver.
Dreamweaver. Sounds like Fate Weaver.
It's some old websites.
Sounds like Fate Weaver. You used Fate Weaver to create websites. That's amazing. How does that make you feel?
Fate Weaver is never going to be good again. How does that make you feel?
He is!
Never again.
He is!
Andrew Gagne is going to make sure of that.
Andrew Gagne is not even a person.
Does that make him a jack of all factions? It does. It does, Chris. It does.
He is a jack of all factions. That is one thing we all know. For certain. For surezies.
Jumping on the Jukari bandwagon in September is only for the jack of all trades.
Yeah, that's a Jack move if I've heard one. And then I was trying to be like, Jack, you know, Jukari hype, you're kind of missing it. They were broken before, and now they're just, like, good. And he was like, no, they're still broken. I'm like, sounds like you're not a Jukari player. But he is now. We should do a switch, Seeks. We should do a game where you and I switch, and I play Admic and you play Jukari.
Okay.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I'm down to do it.
All right, let's do it.
I've actually played Jukari. You haven't played a single game of Admix.
Excuse me. You haven't played the new Codex Jukari, and I haven't played the new Codex.
Yeah, I have.
When?
Remember, you weren't here at the stress testing event against Jack.
You played Jukari?
Yeah.
Well, how was it?
It was fine. It's easy.
It's easy. It's easy.
It's so easy.
Is it as easy as using 10 Blood Brides to do one wound to a spawn?
Well,
Costing you a CP while doing it?
definitely would avoid doing that.
You would avoid doing that. It's easy to get yourself into these conundrums without even thinking. Obviously, like, Jack's a competent 40k player, above average even. Pretty good, I would say. But, you know, in a vacuum, if I were to say, Jack, would you use 10 Blood Brides to kill a single zero spawn? He would be like, no, that's ridiculous. But that's what he did, and he spent a command point to do it. So you get yourself in these weird conundrums with Jukari because you have too many options. That's what happens when you play something.
Well, Jack started with grand plans. He was like, all right, so they're going to go into here. Yes, they're not going to count as charged, but they're going to activate anyway, and then then they're going to attack this.
So if I just sweep this left flank, I win the game. Let me run away.
Drazar's running into my backfield.
Drazar's going to go back and hold the home front with the slits.
Herd the Prey is seriously silly.
I think he should have taken Stranglehold. He would have gotten a 15. Whereas...
He got a 15 on...
No, he got a 14 on Herd the Prey. Unless you
because... No, yeah. You denied the 1 quarter in the...
Yeah. That's right. If I had gone first... Did I go first? No, 1 second. If I had gone first, I'm pretty sure...
He would actually miss Stranglehold that one turn where the Plague Marine survived.
Oh, yeah. That's true. It's a good thing he took Herd the Prey.
He did need those points. What needs to change for Sisters tanks to be good? It's a lot what Marines tanks need to change. They lost core, but they stayed roughly the same overcosted points. So either they get cheaper, or the vehicles get some additional rule that helps them out.
Additional rules?
Yeah.
Like the Impulsor.
Let's not go crazy and just give everything 4 Binvolns, fly, and minus 2 to charge.
Well, I was looking for these Harlequins, actually, because it's been that long since I painted them. And what I found instead of them at first was I found my box of Sons of Colgate that were, like, abandoned and unfinished. So, in there was 2 Impulsors. And made me kind of miss my Sons of Colgate. Made me kind of miss my Impulsors. Maybe all Hook up some brown magic, Seeks.
I mean, I used to run the Impulsors too with Blood Angels. I thought they were really good. But then they got nerfed.
Losing Fly really did hurt them.
That was the biggest change.
Now they're a bad Rhino.
Followed by the 4-up invul and followed by the -2 to charge.
The -2 charge I didn't even care about. That was just like, why are you
just
even
cool.
here? Yeah.
I liked using mine as that anvil where if you charged in, you would take the -2 because you'd have to declare them.
I liked using it as a screen because like.
Remember when I played against your Possessed?
And he would. Not really.
I did use that V formation with the Impulsors to move the army up behind and then fly out. I really like that with Blood Angels, but different army now.
Different army, different time.
Can we expect any more Grey Knight action on the channel? 100%, 100%. I am waiting to get some more Dread Knights from Warpfire, but as soon as I get the list that I want to run built and painted, then we will get plenty more Grey Knight games. But I am still excited about them. I still think they are very strong.
I'm excited to play against them because I haven't read that codex at all, and Siegs loves when he gets to burst my bubble.
Grey Knights in particular love to burst your bubble.
Yeah.
There was a streak on the channel where Grey Knights were just... Nick was talking about how they were one of the most...
They were S tier for a minute. They were the best army in the game, maybe next to White Scars, but they could hang with White Scars, which was absolutely absurd. And no one believed me. John thought I was crazy. Siegs kind of believed me. Everyone else thought I was crazy. I wasn't crazy. You're crazy. You know what I'm saying, Siegs?
You remember those Siegs Nick weekends? Those are so much fun.
They're the best. We're going to have one of those right now.
Yeah. Well, back when we had weekend games.
That's true. That's true.
It was good fun.
Good fun, I say. I do declare.
Admech versus Orcs, baby.
I do declare. Do you declare?
I declare.
You declare. All right. I think now... Nope. We're going to do some bit more purple before we wash it up. Bit more purple, Seeks. Bit more. Uno veto.
How do you feel about Cerberus Raiders?
What about them?
How good are they?
All right.
Nice. That's all you need to say. Let my Cerberus Raiders go untouched. Otherwise, I'm going to have to run Sulfur Hounds.
Let me rephrase that. They are absolutely broken.
Nope, I muted you.
You
So Jack Jumping Ship, who would be the best coach to talk about Blood Angels? He still likes Blood Angels. He is still insisting on getting them on our team tournament list as one of his factions, and I was like, absolutely not.
I would 100% recommend Jack for Blood Angels, even still if he's not actively playing them, because he'll still play them here and there, and he's still certainly going to think about them. He learns them. He's learned them better than anyone else has, so you're not going to find a better coach.
Definitely. So he still believes in them and is pressing for us, even above Black Templars, to put them in. But he has been outvoted.
Because this is a democracy. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Are you gonna need my eyes, Nick, or you found it?
I found it. I got the eyes, Siegs. Actually, I lost my glasses.
I have the eyes of the Omnissiah.
I kind of don't have good eyes right now because I've lost my glasses, which is a bit of a problem, but we're gonna make it work. Grimgor purple or blue?
Something so important you lose it too often.
Clearly, it's not so important.
You know, one of the scariest times I've had in recent memory was Nick driving without glasses.
When was that?
That was a while ago, but still.
Recent memory. It was a while ago.
It was relatively recent.
When was that, though?
In the grand scheme of the universe, it was extremely recent.
But, like, I don't remember that. My driving without glasses isn't the best. I'll admit that.
It is.
But it's hard to drive when you can't see things.
So.
There was a period where I had lost my glasses for, like, months and just didn't get new ones. So I was
Is that when they were in the fridge?
No, they were only in the fridge for a day. That has been confirmed to be John and Mark's fault. Not sure which one actually put them in there, but the two conspired.
What? I didn't hear about
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Okay. You're actually going to love this story. So we were at Charlie's house, which Charlie is the guy who does our stream PC sometimes when we're playing. So we're at his house. He's having like some people over for dinner or something. And we at the time, we lived like 5-7 minutes from Charlie. And it was like a kind of bring something meal, like a family style thing. So I realized I forgot the pie. So I had to go back and get the pie, which is no big deal. It's like 5 minutes away. So I was like, does anyone want to come with me while I run this annoying errand? And John was like, sure, I'll come. So John picked up my glasses, which I had set down at some point, and put them on his face. And he rode in my car for 20 minutes straight with my, or 7 minutes straight, with my glasses. And while I was driving without glasses on, I was like, man, it's hard to see. I don't have glasses. Looked at John, said this to John. John's wearing my glasses. I didn't process that at all. So we get back to the apartment. I grab the pie. We get going. And then we get to Charlie's house. I do the pie, do the dinner. It's all nice and lovely. I go back home. And through this whole time, I'm like, man, I've really lost my glasses. So I texted Charlie the next day. And I was like, let me know if you see my glasses at your house. I probably left them there. I don't know, though. Can't find them anywhere. Charlie's like, they're not here. I'm like, all right, well, keep an eye out, and that sucks. Next day, casually going about my day, can't see anything, it's fine. Open the fridge, there's glasses on top of the onions. What? I don't know. But it's fine. It's fine. Found my glasses. They were actually really clean. I should put them in the fridge more often. So I thought this is me just being an absolute moron, and somehow not paying any attention to what I was doing whenever I put my glasses in the fridge.
That's what I thought it was.
And they let me live this for like a week or two, or months, probably months, years. Sieg still thinks this. But apparently, John and Mark were talking about how John had been wearing my glasses for like 20 minutes at Charlie's. And then John got the bright idea of putting them in the fridge and seeing how long it would take me to notice, or Mark did. One of them did. And then they put it in the fridge. And I found it the next day. I think that deserves a super chat.
I feel like you don't come off as better in this story. I think the other one's better.
I think this is better. I was a victim.
You didn't notice John sitting in your car with your glasses on.
Do you notice everything John does at all times?
Yes.
He leaves.
Every time I see where he leaves his water, instantly he pours one out and then just leaves it around the house.
It's because you're not a human, Siegs. I don't know what to tell you. What is this? You noticing John constantly? No. This has nothing to do with my lack of observational skills. This is everything to do with John messing with me like a mean person. What'd you say about that?
How would you not recognize him with glasses on?
I was driving. I was looking at the road. I wasn't looking at John's face. This isn't the objective markers.
But then when you got out of the car...
I don't know what to tell you, Stevenson.
Oh my gosh. Does this make you ask what he's done that's been similar that you also haven't noticed?
No. There's no point in wondering what you cannot figure out. What is this super chat? We got a super chat?
Got a $5 super chat for clown mode. Richard, what's your new Grey Knights look like? What I'd really like to run is a patrol, the Rapier's Patrol, with 20 interceptors in there, and get 1 unit of troops. Get my characters, get a Grandmaster and Drago in there, and I think there might be some servitors and a Rhino. I can't remember the exact formation points that I went with, but a core like that, and then the second detachment is another Grandmaster and Dread Knight armor with the Dread Knights in a spearhead, and that's going to be sword bearers. So lots and lots of shooting, and then a lot of durability, and then I add 5 more interceptors in the sword bearers patrol just to get another extra 5 trading unit that I need. So I'm going to go with that. May end up cutting one of the Grandmasters and just leave it at 4 Dread Knights, but I have to playtest that.
Deep. That was very deep.
But I feel like shooting's pretty essential for Grey Knights, and unfortunately the Purgation squads aren't very good in my opinion. They just require too many CP. Orcs are starting to pop off. People figuring them out. Where's the orc action?
Where's the orc action? We're getting the orc action in the Worm on Thursday. Mr. Siegs is going to play the Admech versus a stress-tested build of Mark's anti-Admech orcs. We're going to try 9 rocket trucks and whatever else Mark has got cooking up in his kitchen against Mr. Siegs and his I don't like guns Admech army, which somehow still wins. A lot.
We're going to see just how bad orcs can make it for Admech, and then if I can make any tweaks, if it is actually that bad.
Do you really expect it to be that bad?
Squeak buggies are swingy.
They're swingy, right?
They're swingy.
Like,
so
this could swing up or down off of.
I'm going to let him go first for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to see, if he rolls, I'm going to have him at least roll a 6 minimum on all the shots.
On all the shots? That's ridiculous. The way averages work is like, one
That's
rolls a 10, one rolls a 4.
If it isn't that bad after that, then the matchup's totally fine.
Sure.
I'm really putting the list under duress.
It's not just the number of shots, though. It's the hitting, it's the wounding. So every aspect.
But you need to
of
start
the
with the
squig
number
buggy.
of shots.
Yeah, every
So
aspect of the squig buggy is just.
I'm going to go with
very
an
low.
minimum average number of shots, and then see how bad it is.
I mean, he's got blast rule though against some of your units.
1 unit, which I'm putting in reserve.
Oh. Well, okay then.
So he doesn't get blast against anything else.
Have you considered making it the Skitarii cohort to solve the blast problem?
I am the cohort.
So then don't you ignore blast?
Only Vanguard units ignore blast.
Oh, and they're rangers.
They're rangers, because rangers are significantly better.
It's all the same to me, you know.
But I've made them power level 9, so they're only 1 CP to outflank.
Power level 900.
So
We're actually doing it. This Harlequin is looking a lot more finished than it was before. Let's look at that. Is it zooming? Is it focusing?
you can see it over there.
Sort of.
Not really.
Well, she's looking good. What color should I paint her hair?
Bright green.
Okay.
I feel like a red would probably look pretty good.
Well, you just said bright green.
No, bright green's not going to look good.
Bright green could look good.
Brown hair.
Brown hair is the best hair. You can tell because my hair is brown. Did you know that? There's no such thing as black hair on a person. Like, that's, you can simplify it to black hair, but technically my hair is really, really, really dark brown. You can see it in the sun, actually. Learn something new every day, Siegs. What do you think about that? Fun facts? Science facts?
Science facts. Nick facts.
Nick facts. You're like Nick Talks.
Justin with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Justin. Just started a team this year. Do you guys have recommendations on keeping players motivated during crunch time for tournaments like the Las Vegas team tournament?
That's an interesting question.
I definitely think having players play the factions that they're best with and most interested in matters a lot more than just putting them on the new hotness.
I completely agree. I think one of the fundamental things that our team is battling right now is that John and Jack are very, so let's just take the best armies in the game focused. And then there's a debate, of course, about what the best armies in the game are. And then Siegs and I are much more the player playing it has to be able to play it. And that means to play it to the level that we're talking about, they have to be like comfortable with it, excited about it, familiar with it, all that jazz. So when John and Jack get on these tirades about how I need to be a knight player, it's just like, this isn't happening. It's just not real. Granted, knights are probably one of the easier armies to pick up and play. So that is kind of John's
Make your
point.
4-ups, Nick.
But to your question, my friend, I echo what Sieg says. Try to get people onto things that they're excited about. Try to be objective about who on your team is good at what roles. Meaning some people have a mindset where they're okay being the guy who gets punched in the face every round and just dying. And you do kind of need that guy on your team, if I'm being honest. So having that guy is pretty important. But if you put that guy on a list that's not designed to get the crap kicked out of him, and you give him a list that needs to score the big points, but he's not that kind of player, maybe that's a miss army to player thing. I've done that before in the past. Another, probably even more fatal one is like if you have a player who's got a list and they're like, okay, here is your Death Guard list. It's designed to just sit there and defend and score a bunch of points, and if you lose, you lose. It's okay, bud. Just go out there and take one for the team. And then you have a guy, so he's got the right list, he's got the right job, but the person who's doing it is like, I need to step on everybody's throat, and if I lose a game, I'm going to feel like I'm a failure, and then I'm going to play worse and worse, and it's going to cascade into sadness. I've also watched this happen. You need to avoid that at all costs. That's like your team will not win if that's going on. So I'm glad we caught that, because that almost happened to us.
Mentality is a huge part.
Yeah. No. So you got to know your players. Trusting your players, knowing their strengths and weaknesses on and off the table, like as people, really, really important stuff. Some people operate greatly in high-pressure situations. They're just like, get it done. Some people crumble like a pile of chopsticks.
I definitely don't crumble.
You crumble, Siegs.
I have not lost a single team event game.
And that's why
I'm undefeated at
that's
team
why we put Siegs on the broken armies and get him the easy matchups, because he would crumble. Like Adbeck. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here painting Harlequins hoping to win a game.
Will he win a game?
Will he win a game?
Somebody has to take a non-S tier army.
Do they?
Yes.
I don't like that. I don't like that fact. Why is it me? Why does it have to be me every time?
Does John normally wear glasses? No.
Never.
Never.
He doesn't own glasses.
He doesn't wear glasses at all. It's not a normal thing.
I don't see what the point of that statement is, though. It has nothing to do with if you're wearing glasses.
Because you should notice it.
No.
Something that never happens is happening in front of your eyes.
It's very subtle. It's a very subtle...
Literally looking at his face.
It's a very subtle difference. How many of you people who are watching this chat right now clocked on to the fact that I was not wearing glasses prior to me bringing it up as a conversation point? Probably none of you.
Probably everybody in chat.
Don't speak for them. Only I can do that. Probably none of you.
Chat is on to you, Nick.
Chat's not on anything. But seriously, I have lost my glasses, so if you see them, I know. LMK, Mr. Siegs.
The funny thing, Nick, is you haven't realized that the puppy has been wearing them the entire morning.
She has? Oh, no wonder she's been seeing stuff. I'm so excited. There's a puppy, like 10 feet away from us right now. Just gonna go play with it.
She's napping.
She's napping. What if she's not?
She definitely is.
She definitely is. Napping puppies.
What's your most memorable after tournament dinner story?
I have been to so many tournaments and so many after tournament dinners. I don't even know. It's got to be one of the ones in Europe, I imagine, because those are just like giant parties and ragers that, you got like every country kind of goes out to dinner in like a big area, kind of take over the center of town type of thing, and the whole town is flooded with a bunch of nerdy people who play Warhammer and are just screaming and drunk. So that's really fun. Every time we do that, I've had a lot of fun doing those, and then also you're trying to talk pairings for the next round, so that's always fun. I've had some great Vegas dinners at LVO. I've had some great ATC team bonding dinners where we go get some barbecue. There's been some great dinners. One time, the Swedish team, some of our friends from Sweden who came from the ETC team came to Adepticon one year, and we all went out to this nice dinner. And I guess in Sweden, food is done differently than in America, because in America, you order an entree and then you bring home food, or you eat a lot of food because our portions are enormous. Well, in Sweden, I guess it's not like that, because they ordered like the entire menu, like, well, one of these, one of these, one of these, one of those. Kind of like it was a tapas style restaurant where we all share was the idea, but it wasn't a tapas restaurant. They just ordered like $350 of food for like 4 people. I ate so much food that day. That was great.
Did they say that this is a lot, or?
Well, the food was coming out, and they were like the first plate came out, they saw, and they're like, what is this? And they're like, this is your appetizer. Like, this is an appetizer!
This is the normal size.
This is just... It was like 8 loaded potato skins or something, and they were like, someone just eats this before their meal? This is for one person?
We started Art of War in a after tournament dinner, basically.
We did?
Yeah.
What do we
started the concept of doing streams together.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Siegs and I were at Warriors in Atlanta, and then we were all at Applebee's, because there was an Applebee's like right next door or something. And Siegs and I were sitting at 2 totally different tables, but that doesn't stop me from doing anything. So I walked over to Siegs, and I was like, hey, business with me? And he was like, do you want to move to Florida? And here we are.
That's how it happened.
That's exactly how it happened. It's those people. They tell you it's like always keep your eyes out for the opportunities and whatever. It's exactly true. So we're going to wait for this green to dry. And then we're going to wash again. And that'll be the end of this paint stream. You ready for that, Siegs?
You got to wash at least 3 times in a paint.
If you're not washing, are you even painting?
Apparently I'm not painting.
You're not painting. You're wasting your time over there.
This would have been so much easier with lead belcher spray. It's insane.
Insane in the membrane.
Luckily, I have a lot of time.
Do you?
Yep.
Vegas teams is fairly soon.
Not too soon that I can't finish painting 9 Cerberus Raiders.
Well, is it too soon that I'm going to finish painting all these Harlequins?
Yes. That is a fact.
I don't think it's a fact. think
You're
it's
just gonna have to pull some long nights in the hobby room.
Well, I didn't sleep last night thanks to this new puppy we have. So what else were we gonna do?
You're definitely not painting at the same time, though.
No, I was not painting. I was cleaning poop off the floor at 3 o'clock in the morning, washing my bed sheets because there was poop in those. I really was like debating knocking on your door and being like, "Siegs, help," but I didn't because I'm a good friend.
You didn't want the "I told you so."
I didn't
It's a
want
lot
any
of
it.
responsibility.
I didn't want any
You didn't
of
want
it.
the lecture.
I didn't want any of it happening. I wanted that night to be over. I took her on a walk at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. What do I do? But she was really scared of the dark, I think.
Not used to going out.
Yeah.
I'm. Y'all gonna really make me do a super chat to see the puppy?
Oh, I'm gonna get her.
Is she not? She's not.
If she's napping, I won't bother her. But I'll show you pictures. Well, let me see. She's not napping.
All right, guaranteed. Nick will not do a single other thing on these Harlequins. They're just gonna stay exactly the state they're at. He looked very good in glasses, so I noticed. That is amazing, Julian.
What did Julie say? Julie's in here?
No, Julian.
Oh, what is Julie?
Julian said you look very good in glasses, so I noticed.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Bella. Hi.
Just kind of lay down.
She's gonna lay down. I don't know if I can get her. She's pretty glued to the floor right now.
She'll come up when she wants to.
If we get a super chat, though, we can probably get her. She's excited about super chats.
How were your parents? Who got you? How were your parents / who got you into 40K? Have any mentors?
So my parents, being the traditional Indian family that I come from,
Huge 40K fan.
huge 40K fan. Starting your own business, not becoming a doctor, lawyer, they loved every second of that. So, well, now you're sleepy. So, I got into 40K because my 5th grade teacher played, and he started a club for the kids. And I had no interest in playing 40K at all, but all my friends played, and I gave into peer pressure. So then I started playing, and then I found a store, the only game in town, or its acronym Target. It was like 10 minutes from my house in New Jersey, my parents' house. I used to go there to play, and I made a lot of friends there, and when you make friends doing something, it's easier to stick with it. So that's how I kind of just got deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. And then I spent most of my high school and middle school days basically playing Warhammer instead of reading books. And now we're here.
And then I started playing in 3rd edition, and just had a friend who had some Blood Angel models, and from there, I got my brother and my cousin into it.
Brian Siegs! Little known fact, Brian Siegs is my least favorite, but also my most favorite Siegs.
He makes you do the most work.
He definitely makes me do the most work. He's supposed to work for me, but that's not the way this works.
You work for him.
Is that a super chat for the puppy Siegs? Is that what I'm saying?
You work for your dad and Brian.
I do not work for my dad and brother. They're my bosses. I started my own company, so I wouldn't have a boss, and now I have 2 bosses. Neither of which are actually legally my boss. That's great. Right, baby?
$10 super chat from Greg to see the doggo.
Okay, come here. Come here. Oh.
Come here, Bella. Who's such a good girl? Come on. Look. Come here.
Come here.
She's just laying down, enjoying being underneath the chair. She likes staying under my chairs.
She does like your chairs. I think she likes Siegs more than me, but
She does.
We're gonna fix that.
She does. She can sense it.
She can't sense anything. Oh. Come here, baby girl. This is why you like Siegs more. I don't bother you. Greg, we'll get you a puppy. If you're actually a member of our Discord channel, I did toss a picture of her into the general chat and our pet channel. We have a pet channel on our Discord. If that's not reason enough to be a member of our Discord community, I don't know what is. We have a pet channel.
We've also got social media too.
We've got a social media.
The puppy's on there.
The puppy's on the social media. Yeah, she is. She's really cute.
She'll come up in a minute.
I'll get her a treat. Okay.
She loves the milk bones. See, Nick, I told you. Nick has never had a dog before. So this is his first time, whereas I've grown up with dogs. So he is adapting. For Richard, do you think the bolster defense Metallica strat has any play in player-placed terrain tournament? 2 CP, select one area, terrain, or obstacle, gains light cover, plus 2 CP, or plus 2 to saving throws, if already has light cover. This is a Metallica strat?
Oh, there she is.
I thought the Metallica strat for terrain was eradication order for +1 to wounds.
Good girl.
Good girl. You might be thinking of the Mechanicum defense cohort. I think that's their strat. One of them, at least. But the Mechanicum defense cohort is held back by the fact that you can't run Skatara units, and they are by far the best units that AdMech has access to. Every single Skatara unit is better than its Cult Mechanicus counterpart. It's not even close.
I hope you guys are enjoying this.
But there's a puppy.
There's a puppy.
Who's got painting? What do you think about painting?
She likes painting.
If it's in Caradon, that doesn't mean it's Metallica. The first part is the defense cohort, which is specifically, it's an army of renown just for Cult Mechanicus stuff. Then there's a separate part of Caradon that is for Metallica rules. If Metallica had that strat, it would be somewhat interesting. But still, 2 CP is expensive when AdMech have amazing 1 CP strats. So I'm pretty cautious of spending anything more than 2 CP, 2 or 3 CP.
She's just laying in my lap. Like, not laying in it, like laying upon it.
I told you, Nick's not going to get any more painting done.
Angle the camera down. I want to see this. Oh, now she's camera shy. Look at her. Look at her. What are you sniffing at?
Bella.
Bella, look at the camera. Good girl.
Who's good?
Good girl.
Who's good?
So this is Bella. She's the newest Art of War coach. You can learn a lot from her. She is wonderful. Highly recommend.
She has more Super Major wins than Nick in 9th edition 40k.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
What a good baby. Are they saying stuff about her?
Yes, they're saying she's super cute.
That's because she is. That's because you are.
Alright. Should be good. She's just gonna chill out now.
Yeah. She's a very chill puppy when she's not pooping everywhere.
Nick takes the blame, though.
I do. The reason she pooped everywhere is totally... she's a puppy.
You've got to be on 24/7 now, Nick.
I'm sorry, I thought I could fall asleep.
Permanently.
I didn't realize. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. I haven't had coffee today. What am I running on?
You're running on Super Chat.
I'm running on Super Chats. Keep them coming. What are you working on still, Steeks? Still the...
Cerberus Raiders. I had to put all the base coats on.
Base coats. I'm waiting for washes to dry. You're base coating?
You did start with base coats done.
That's... yeah. That's because I've been painting the Harlequins. Vigorously. For years.
For a year and a half. Honestly, it's longer now.
No, it's about a year and a half.
I feel like it's more.
I mean, it's September. I definitely didn't have a Harlequin army last year.
I thought you had it early last year.
It was one of my earlier
We
armies.
bought the models, and then you didn't build them for like 5-6 months.
Yeah, but remember, I didn't even move to Florida until basically February, so they didn't start with the models.
I thought you had some Harlequins.
I've always had some Harlequins. I've dabbled. I dabble in everything. But I didn't just shell out like, here's $500 for a Harlequin army until later in life.
Until Warfire's trade-in program.
Until Warfire's trade-in program came into my possession and yours. Check out our sponsors.
Can you guys give us a teaser for the big changes coming to the War Room? If you are in the Discord, go ahead. So you could be a YouTube member, you could be a Patreon, or you could be a War Room member. You get access to our Discord. But there is a separate section that I just created called Brad and John's Coaching Corner. And it's got a whole bunch of sub-channels in there with some really cool topics that we're going to be doing week in, week out.
Know thy enemy.
So if you want to check it out, definitely head over to the Discord and look at that channel because it's got basically a preview of what we're going to be working on. Is she the new Sulphur Hound? She definitely has Flamer Breath, the Sulphur Breath.
She's got some breath.
Does she have the blast pistols?
She's
though?
got that puppy scent though. Definitely the puppy scent.
That is true. He stole Chris. He kept borrowing Chris Frost's Harlequins, and then if you're a real old member of our following our channel, you'll remember Nick dropping the Harlequins from on high.
I forgot about that.
Chris still somehow lends Nick models occasionally, but my God, an entire beautiful Harlequin army fell.
It was
Fell from great heights.
Yeah. I love you, Chris.
That was one of the most brutal things I've seen on stream. You actually, if you go to our Twitch channel, you might still be able to pull that clip up. It might still exist.
I'm so distracted by this dog. Like, you are absolutely right. No more painting. I don't know how you're painting right now. There's a dog here.
Hi.
That's how dedicated I am.
Yeah, I see that.
But yeah, there are some really good clips on that channel. Did You Move the Avatar was legendary. We've got
the Troop Master.
the Troop Master. Nick's pile-ins towards the whatever he chooses. It's not towards the closest. It's just whatever he decides. Then we have I'm done with this game. I literally quit this game against my Necrons.
No, that was against your AdMech.
You did it twice. That was back-to-back games.
That was a weekend. Everyone got mad. They were like, Nick's being too salty. I'm like, I can't control this. This is how I feel.
Well, 10 Shining Spears killed like 2 Necron warriors.
That's right. That's right. Doom and everything.
Yeah.
Six dice.
Oh,
They're not real. Six dice aren't a real
Those
thing.
are good times.
Average number of
I
fives.
miss those games.
Totally.
Oh, I mean, my Iron Strider in combat killing gas with Litany of the Electromancer, the old one, that was also amazing. Trying to get into competitive play, a little overwhelmed. My army's rules, stratagems, secondaries, terrain rules, other guys' army rules. Just signed up for coaching. Any other tips? So, this game is very knowledge based.
What are you chewing on?
What is she chewing on?
I don't know. Keep going. I'm trying to look at her mouth.
So one of the best things that you can do is first start with mastering your own faction. All right. Even though there's a ton of armies in the game, your local meta might not have every single one of them, and even then, they might not be played by the players that you're going to have to compete with to win your local tournaments. So first start with your own army. You need to be a master of everything that you do. So I would start with an army that's, I don't know what your particular army is, but start with a list, whatever army you're playing, that's relatively uncomplex. So take, for instance, the AdMech list that I play, where it's the Codex rules, Metallica supplement rules, and then it's also the veteran cohort rules. That's way too much going on. Try and find an army that gives you, that's going to let you emphasize the fundamentals of 40k, become an expert at moving, on pre-measuring, move blocking, how to play the primary and the secondary, all that type of stuff.
Is this a question about what army you should pick?
No.
Oh.
This is how do you just deal with the rules bloat in the game? And
That's reps.
yeah, that's what I'm saying is start with a list that's easy to work with, doesn't have a lot of complexity to it. You can build it in as you go. And master your own particular army. There's so many other factors. Master the base rules in your army first, and then start worrying about the other person's armies. You will learn about the other armies through reps, just by getting games in, and at the same time, you'll learn more about your own army.
And then join the war room.
Yes, so he said he joined for coaching, which
great.
gets you into the war room.
It does.
So in there, we have clinics every week on a variety of topics. There's strategy sessions. Right now, Nick is doing an excellent series on the missions, how to play each specific mission, all the things you need to look out for. So definitely keep your eye for that. The coaching games is a great thing because we talk about our thought process. So all the things that we're thinking that you don't hear during a normal stream game, why we're doing this particular move, all the things that we're thinking about that our opponent could threaten us with, what our overall plan is going into a turn or into a phase. Mm-hmm. So that's what the coaching games are about, unlike the YouTube stream games. So it gives you an insight into all the questions you should be asking at the same time when you're playing.
We really try to bring you into the top players' mindset on those, because it's not just we're playing the game like you would watch a normal channel. We're really breaking down the whys to what we're doing, all the different options, like option A, B, C, D, what we're considering, what we're going to go with, why we're not going with options B, C, D, whatever. Really trying to bring you the full package.
Yeah, they're also interactive, so anytime you want a question, we answer it live there.
Appreciate your super chat again. You're welcome. Glad we could help.
But yes, thanks so much. Start with your base stuff, the fundamentals, the core rules, and then your own army, and you can expand from there. Don't try and do everything all at once. That's going to be overwhelming.
She is really enjoying this tennis ball. I didn't want her chewing on other stuff, so I got her tennis ball.
That's good.
Look at that, I'm learning.
You could have got her the little fox toy.
The little fox toy, I can't find it. I think she moved it somewhere.
She's creating a hiding spot.
I think that just about does it for me, Mr. C.
What do we got coming up in the war?
We got a lot of stuff coming up in the war room. We have a whole new war room on the way next week, basically, with all this new stuff. It's a different series. We got a war room social where you can interact with John and Brad and our other coaches through live Zoom chats. We have Know Thy Enemy, which is where we're going to give you advice on how to play against specific strong lists in the game, kind of irrespective of what faction you're playing, just general strategies and things to look out for. Then we have this week on Thursday, we have a coaching match, classic one. Mr. Siegs versus Mark, with the AdMech being stress tested against a full buggy spam orc list. See if they can actually stand up to that level of indirect fire. Going second. Should be very exciting to see. Hope to catch you guys all in there in the war room. Thanks so much, and we will catch you later.
Thanks, everybody. Send your love to the puppy. All right. We're going to send you off to a promo of the war room, telling you all the cool stuff in there. See you next time.
Bye.
Dive even deeper into competitive 40K and become a member of the world's most knowledgeable and positive community.
The War Room is an exclusive group that brings together the world's best 40K players as coaches to help anyone from a newer player to an experienced tournament veteran learn, grow, and reach their goals within our shared hobby.
Each week we offer a variety of live stream coaching matches centered around illuminating the thought process and in-game decision making of top players. We explain everything we're doing and why.
You'll learn about the ever-evolving meta, match play mission theory, list making, and discussion of every faction in the game, and have access to analysis of all the latest rules. Our team of highly experienced coaches teach weekly clinics on each individual faction, strategy sessions on deployment and cool tricks, and meta-analyses each week during Meta Monday.
We are committed to not only providing the best knowledge for players available, but also building a one-of-a-kind community.
Come be a part of the War Room.